I gotta tell you, I am so tired of grown men picking on kids with Crosley turntables. You heard that right. Now, I may be talking old here, I don't know, but hear me out. Coming up right after this.
Channel 33, RPM, yeah, 33, RPM, Channel 33, RPM, yeah, final gear and more.
Hi, my name is Frank. Welcome back to Sundays on Channel 33 RPM, your channel for vinyl, gear, and more. If this is your first time here, or if you haven't subscribed yet, I strongly encourage you to click that subscribe button so you never miss another episode again. I'm not going to have too much of a preamble today. Let's get right into the video. Okay, now this seems to be a thing in online forums, and particularly here in the YouTube vinyl community, and that's adults picking on kids with Crosley turntables. And let's be clear, it is kids in general who are buying these Crosleys. Much of this criticism comes from people who seem to be new to the whole hobby of vinyl collecting, which is sort of ironic. And many of these comments are along the lines of,
Crosley sucks, and those record players will destroy your records.
And
people who buy Crosleys are idiots. Crosleys sound horrible and are a waste of time.
and
Seriously, Frank, who is dumb enough to buy a Crosley?
okay, let's go through some of those comments I typically receive. The one about Crosleys destroying your records. I mean, this could potentially be true. Up to this point, no one has actually shown me a record and say, Frank, this record was destroyed on a Crosley turntable after I listened to it a few times. I mean, let's be serious. It's going to take hundreds of listens potentially for that record to be damaged on the Crosley turntable. And beyond that, if the record does get damaged, who really cares? Records are meant to be played. Go and buy another record. Okay, the other criticism, that Crosleys won't make your records sound good, that records don't sound good on a Crosley turntable. This is true, but who cares? I don't think anyone is buying a cheap all-in-one plastic turntable thinking or expecting they are going to get superb high-quality sound. As for the comments that there are many other better options than Crosley turntables, again, I am not going to argue with this point. Crosleys don't sound great, but again, that is not the point. Personally, if someone's getting into vinyl, I'd recommend that they go find a used vintage turntable and build a system with a used receiver and some speakers and whatnot. But let's get real. The kids buying Crosleys are not really interested in that. They are not going to go on this long pursuit and go on the online classifieds and buy a turntable and go track down a receiver and maybe have to clean it up and buy some speakers and string a whole system together. I mean, that's what I wanted to do, sort of, when I was a kid, but not everyone is into that. People want to spend 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100 and just kind of bring that all in one turntable home and listen to music. And again, if that's what people want to do, more power to them. Guys, this is what I think many of us often forget, and that is we all have to start somewhere. Back when I was a kid in the mid-80s, I listened to records, but it definitely wasn't on a system anywhere like this. I'd go to my grandparents and they had an old antique record player with a tone arm. I don't know, that must have weighed 2 pounds. I'm exaggerating, but I would listen to my Iron Maiden records on that, and I'd watch the record spin, and I absolutely loved it. And did it chew up my records? I don't know, and I really didn't care. And I started thinking that's the mentality of a lot of young people today. They just want to enjoy music, and it's really gratifying, and we should be celebrating the fact that young people actually want to listen to music on a physical product, something tangible like a record, rather than just streaming it. But instead of celebrating it, many of us are just bashing these kids who are trying to get into vinyl, and that's the whole thing. A lot of these people will discover a lifelong love of music and vinyl and collecting, just starting from this really humble origin. I'll give you one more example. I play guitar, and I have, a whole bunch of guitars here in my music room, and they're decent, but did I start with a Fender Stratocaster or a Gibson Les Paul? No, absolutely not. I started with an absolute garbage guitar, 3/4 size electric from Sears, and I was 12 or 13 years old, and I absolutely loved it. And if an older guitar player had come up to me at the time and said, Frank, this is garbage, what are you doing? You're clueless. This is going to destroy your fingers, and the music is going to sound horrible coming out of this thing. I would have been heartbroken because I absolutely loved my the guitar. But as I got more into it, I upgraded and got better stuff in time. Same with stereo systems. You start at one point and just build it up and get more into it, and over time accumulate a better system. But so many of us tend to forget about that, and we have to, I think in some ways, some people actually are bashing kids who are buying Crosleys to make themselves feel better. I'm just gonna end this video by saying a far better approach is to welcome Crosley kids to the vinyl community. After all, it shouldn't matter whether you have a $100 stereo system or a $10,000 stereo system. At the end of the day, we're all here for one reason, and that is to celebrate our love for vinyl records. I had to get that off my shoulders. 33ers, again, in no way am I urging anyone to buy a Crosley, but I am defending people who are trying their best to get into this hobby. Let me know what you thought of this mini rant in the comments below. Remember, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a quick like, and if you didn't, hey, leave a thumbs down. It is entirely your prerogative. I hope each and every one of you has a fantastic week. Until next time, 33ers, keep on spinning.